What's the ideal star for world building? Hi everybody, this is JD, and if you are interested in world building, then you've come to the right place. So, this is the first episode of my new world building series, and we're going to start off really scientific. And that is, what kind of stars can support planets that can support life? Well, let's find out. If you're writing a story that has a blue star, well, unfortunately, that planet most likely will not be able to support life. Not for very long, at least. But if it's a red star, maybe. Big star? Probably not. Small star? Sure. But let's find out what is best. If you've ever seen a Hertzsprung-Russell diagram, then maybe you know what I'm talking about. Going from the top left-hand corner down to the bottom right-hand corner is, well, it's the main sequence stars. And those are the most likely to support life. However, if you go way up here, you got the giants and the supergiants. Now those stars are the least likely to be able to support any kind of planet that has life. You see, giant and supergiant stars are late stage stars. They're dying. They're going to explode. The supergiants are going to go in a huge explosion, supernova. And the giant stars most likely are just going to shrink back down into a white dwarf. And those are just the dead remnants of a very old star. The problem with supergiants and giants is that they used to be smaller stars, main sequence stars, but they've expanded greatly and they've swallowed up a lot of planets in the process. So you're unlikely to find any kind of life there. However, if there's some kind of outpost or something, maybe it might be interesting. But for a planet to support life, highly unlikely. And anyways, stars that are supergiants were originally very hot, large stars anyways, and they would have a very short life. And I will get into that next. The main sequence stars follow a line along the Hertzsprung-Russell diagram, and they have these spectral classes. And they are OBAFGKM, or Oh Be a Fine Girl, Kiss Me. That's just the mnemonic for it, in case you're wondering. It's pretty easy to remember, just OBAFGKM, Oh Be a Fine Girl, Kiss Me. The ones at the top are the hottest and biggest. O, B, and A are all very hot stars, and they're quite large. They are also the shortest lived stars, so they're not exactly suited for developing planets with life. O stars are the hottest. They are also the biggest, and they live only a few million years. You're unlikely to find any planets that have developed any kind of life. And in fact, those planets may not have even developed very much. They'd be lacking in any kind of hospitable environment. B stars are also very similar. Then we get to the A stars. Now these ones can last a few 100 million years. Maybe the planet will develop very simple life, but that's about it. Otherwise, you're not going to find civilizations there. So those three spectral types are out. And then we get to F, G, and K. Now these are probably the best ones, actually. You see, our sun is a G-type star. That means it's a yellow star. It's right in the middle. It's kind of average age. It's average length of life. It's actually fairly long life, so it's long enough to develop life. Well, our Earth has life, doesn't it? The F stars, not as long, but it should be okay. I would say G is the best if you want very Earth-like, but K is also very good. Those ones are the orange dwarf stars, and they will last a long time. Around stars, there's something we call the Goldilocks zone, and that is where life has the best conditions to exist. Around a K-type star, the Goldilocks zone is a bit closer into the star, and it should be a bit of a shorter year as well. However, the lifetime of the star should allow life to develop and stay there for a very long time. So F, G, and K are the best kinds of stars to have if you want very Earth-like conditions. But then we come to the M stars, or the red dwarfs. Now these are the most common types of stars in the galaxy. 76% of stars are red dwarfs. Now, these are small and very cool, and throughout the lifetime of the universe, they are probably unlikely to ever run out of fuel. Because you see, they're so cool, they burn their fuel very, very slowly. I shouldn't say burn because this is fusion, not burning. However, the planets would be very interesting. If you have a planet in the Goldilocks zone around a red dwarf, you're likely to have a planet that's tidally locked. So one side of the planet is always aimed at the sun, the other side is always aimed away. So you have a very hot side and a very cold side. And then there's a ring around the planet along the terminator where temperatures could be stable. So that would be very interesting. The only place you could live is around the terminator where day and night meet. So that would develop into a very unusual planet. You see, there would be no day or night cycle on this planet. One side is always facing the star, so you'd always be at perpetual sunset or sunrise. Nothing would change. Also, you'd think that if it has a habitable atmosphere, then with the heat on one side, there might be some circulation, atmospheric circulation, where the heat is drawn back over to the night side, and the night side might not be that cold, but who knows? You might have a polar ice cap on one side, and on the other side this raging hot desert, which is unlivable. And right in the middle, nice temperate zone, which is got the perfect conditions for life. I would love to visit a planet like that. In my case, for Ariadne, I chose a real star actually. It's Beta Comi Berenices. Now, this is a star that is almost 30 light years away from us. It's a G0 type star, which means it's very similar to our sun. It's slightly bigger and slightly hotter though. And one thing I had a bit of a problem with was the age of this star. It's about 3 billion years old, as opposed to our sun, which is 4.6 billion years old. Now, if it's 3 billion years, it's quite possible that life hasn't had enough time to develop into complex life forms. However, we don't understand what evolution may be like on other planets. It's quite possible that there could have been a trigger earlier in their history that caused evolution to happen at a faster pace or at an earlier date. So it's quite possible. And that's how I envisioned my planet. So evolution was spurred on a bit earlier than it was here on Earth, so there are animals and plants. So now that we've chosen a star, what do we do next? Well, we have to develop the planet itself. So that will be in the next episode, Creating the Planet. If you have any comments, please leave them in the comment section below. Also, if you have any suggestions for future topics, please let me know. So please give me a big thumbs up if you like this video, and also subscribe right here if you want to see some more world building videos. And up here you can check out the playlist, and over here you can see some of my other videos that may interest you. So thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.